It's the jelly bean. I pulled a fast one on you this week. I pulled a tricky
little stink.
A tricky stink on y'all.
That doesn't.
I don't know. That doesn't sound good.
No, that sounds awful.
It sounds awful, terrible. Just can we let's do a do-over.
Let's do a do-over.
Ready? Here we go.
Here we go.
Welcome to the Jelly Bean, where all of our rolls are jelly rolls. That was bad too, wasn't it?
Yes, it's awful. Just shut up. Guys, quit talking.
Just quit talking. Dead silence. Guys, happy Friday. So for those of you who are new here, you've already gotten the drift on the atmosphere. Most professional business coaches ever.
Sure.
We've
Whatever you say, darling.
We've got a lot of new subscribers on the channel, so y'all are in for a treat. I'm Starla. This is Mark. Welcome to what's usually the Friday Bean, but it's almost Easter, so it's the Jelly Bean. We're going to be answering your random Etsy questions this week, mainly because we normally have a topic for these Friday sessions, but we've had a lot of new subscribers. My email inbox, my Instagram DMs, and the comments on YouTube have been crazy.
Yes, they have.
Between everything that I've been doing, it's like trying to also do the moderation in terms of like answering everyone's questions and helping everyone. It's been a lot. So I'm like, you know what? We don't do these just completely open Q&A sessions very often.
Hardly ever.
And it's a holiday celebration.
It is a holiday. We used to do these for every holiday to just kind of celebrate, relax, get to know the new people, and figure out where we're at.
So we're going to hang out and answer some random Etsy-related questions from you guys. But I do want to start out by saying that last week's video, or this Tuesday, this last Tuesday's video from this week's video was about copyright infringement. I can already see we have some questions about that. I need to start. Every time we talk about legal stuff, it is my obligation as a YouTuber to state that I am not qualified to talk about squat. I'm not qualified to give you legal advice. So anything that I tell you is going to be based on Starla's recommendations, based on what Starla knows.
Based on our opinions, not our legal expertise.
Exactly. Starla knows through experience and the research that Starla has done. But what you should do...
And if you get sued, it's on you.
Yeah, what you should do is double check what we say by going to a site like justanswer.com. You only have to pay a few dollars to ask a lawyer a question if you can't afford to hire a lawyer for all your questions. You can ask doctors things and you can ask anything.
You can figure out what that itch on your butt is about.
Yeah, if you got an itchy butt, you can figure out what that weird rash is. So, I don't think you're allowed to send them pictures, though. That'd be weird. Hey, Doc,
worth a try.
What's this rash? So check it out. We'll try to answer questions to the best of our abilities, but a lot of it's going to be I think, technically, fact check it with a lawyer. So let's go ahead and get started. We've already got some in there if you want to.
Yeah. So go ahead and get your questions in. We're not doing a topic this week. We're not talking about anything in particular. So if you have Etsy questions, business questions, SEO questions, anything having to do with your Etsy shop, your website, that kind of stuff. In mind that we are not professionals when it comes to things like Google optimization and stuff like that. We're more Etsy specific, but we do have our own website, so we might be able to answer some questions.
Social media, Etsy SEO is our strongest areas, branding, marketing, anything Etsy related. And anything else, we'll just do our best. Or if you have a personal question like how I do my eyebrows...
They offer a monthly subscription for $60 a month for Just Answer. Yeah, but you can do the free account as well, right?
Yeah, Cynthia, when you asked your question this week, did you just pay for your one question? Because that's all I've ever done. I've asked some questions on there.
Yeah, I don't ever need it enough to. Anyway, well, let's see. So Sarah's clothing. Did you already answer this one?
No, I didn't. Okay. So
I can read it.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Thanks for your answer concerning the copyright issues. About that, I still have one question about SEO. As I said, we make clothing, and a lot of Star Wars cosplayers like our stuff for their costumes, so we use their keyword Star Wars. In the future, this will not be allowed anymore. Is it possible?
It's not allowed now.
Is it? Because Star Wars, with all the authors and stuff that write books, I'm pretty sure the Star Wars universe is open domain. I'm pretty sure they made it open domain.
No, Lucasfilms and Disney own it. So you'll get hit by one of them.
Yeah, it might be different now that Disney owns it. Because I was about to say there was just a huge triple series book released with Star Wars on the front banner. So.
Yeah, but they had to get permission to write within the universe.
Okay, that makes sense. Anyway.
Yeah.
As title, star, jacket, kimono, robe, wars, cosplay, outfit. I think you see where I'm heading. The algorithm can combine words star plus wars. Would this be possible in your opinion?
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem. Because technically, I think if you word it like that, you're still falling within that legal safe ground. However, because the algorithm is going to target you like that, and because Disney doesn't screw around, you're still going to get hit.
You're targeting...
Eventually.
You are creating a product based on a universe that you don't own.
Yes.
And you're targeting the demographics within that universe. Mm-hmm. And that's what the problem is. For example, we had an alpha who created Harry Potter like themed ornaments and did them like in the Hogwarts house colors, but didn't use any Harry Potter official terminology. She just used the term Potterheads, which is a fan-created term, but she was still found by Warner Brothers and she still got in trouble. So you have, no matter what, it's the algorithm that's going to pull all of the combinations of those words in the new reporting portal, and that's going to give whoever I don't know if it's going to be Lucasfilms or Disney who technically would file those reports, or both. Same with, I don't know if like for Harry Potter, if it would be Warner Brothers or Scholastic, who I think, no, Scholastic isn't whoever the UK
publisher.
first publisher would be the owner.
It depends on what you were doing it based on. If it was based on the movies versus based on the books, it would be different owners. Anyway, just to be safe, I would say no to saying anything having to do with Star Wars. Yep. You can make things that look similar. You just can't use any they don't have a patent on robes.
On a kimono,
right? They don't have that. So you'll have to be a little more creative and not just in the way that you use your wording for things, because the wording is what's going to screw you in the end.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Okay.
And somebody did say even to write within the Star Wars universe, you have to get permission to use their logo and use licensing, that kind of thing. Yeah, because it can get a little bit confusing. Like, I'll use Rick and Morty as an example, because the creators of Rick and Morty actually came out and said anything having to do with Rick and Morty is canon. Like anything having to do with it is canon. It's open source, this, that, and the other. However, Cartoon Network still owns the rights to Rick and Morty. So while the creators say that it's okay, it's still up to the network's discretion to who actually gets to create content for it. And I'm assuming the exact same thing. My question is it better to point your website name to your Facebook page where we communicate, or to our Etsy shop? Okay. Depends.
Your Facebook page is where you communicate. Your Etsy shop, you can communicate and you sell things. If somebody types in your website name or your domain name, they're expecting to buy your thing, not chat with you. So Etsy shop, for sure.
Yeah. It's like having two doors to your house. It's like, you have to walk into a walkway and then walk again. Like, do you want to direct them to your Etsy shop where they can make a sale? Or do you want to direct them to your Facebook group where you'll direct them to your Etsy shop to make a sale? You're adding an unnecessary entryway into your Etsy shop.
Yeah. Let's
see. Every Friday Bean is a random Q&A after the important stuff is out of the way. We're not doing any important stuff this week. It's a holiday, so we're just kind of
chilling.
BSing. We want to be able to end it a little bit earlier, and we got a lot of work to do. So
just while he's finding our next question, I'm working on something super duper amazing for you guys, and it's gonna be free. It should be releasing sometime next week. And that's all I can say about it. But I put a lot of time into it.
Yes, she did and is.
It is fantastical. And I will email you about it, and I'll post about it here, and I'll mention it in a Friday Bean, and I'll post it on Instagram and on Facebook. So as long as you're following me somewhere, you should get the memo about it. I'm going to just talk about it all over the place.
All right.
Okay.
I started out with specifically Greyhound dog-themed gifts and recently evolved my art to include new age metaphysical items, trying to keep to one shop. Any thoughts to share? Go for it, or crazy? Well, dog and metaphysical are two totally different niches. Most dog people I know aren't also into metaphysical stuff, and most metaphysical people aren't also just into dogs. You know what I mean?
It sounds like you had a really great niche and now you're throwing something completely unrelated. That's like I make baby shower gifts. How do I sell men's underwear with them? It's like, I mean, if you found like a way to make it's almost like you're trying to target. Who are you trying to target? Metaphysical people who have greyhounds? Because you're making your niche so tiny that you're going to be trying to like.
You're being that nudist Buddhist.
Yeah, that's the nudist Buddhist analogy by Alan Nation. He says you can be a nudist, and that's not too weird because that's just one weird thing about you. And you can be a Buddhist, and that doesn't make you too weird because that's just one weird thing about you. But you can't be a nudist Buddhist because that's just a little too weird. And I always add the disclaimer that we don't think nudists or Buddhists are weird.
Not our analogy anyway.
Yeah, but still, you need to decide who are you selling to. Greyhound owners who are into metaphysical products, I'm sure they exist. Is it going to be enough to make a living off of?
No.
Yeah.
So normally I would say I don't know, but definitely not. Sorry, that's way too niche.
Yeah, that's way really niche.
Okay. This person had recommended a bean to us.
Cynthia said that I paid for the subscription. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I read that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I didn't read it out loud.
Oh, well.
It didn't need read out loud.
Oh, well, I wanted to know.
I sell greeting cards on Etsy. Can you suggest other products to make a cohesive line of products?
Greeting cards? Think about what people are doing when they're sending a greeting card. I think that stationery kits, maybe stamps. That's a hard one. Stickers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly,
cards.
Honestly, go into like a store that specializes in like greeting things and go with that. Some people do candles, greeting cards and candles because it's like
giftables,
giftable kind of things. Just don't overdo it because then you just end up looking like an eBay shop. So, I mean, just anything that you could give someone as a greeting, as a quick birthday present, like if they were stopping in your store, they could grab 2 or 3 things on the way to somebody's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would definitely say giftables that have some type of message associated with them. Maybe like a candle that has a printed label that says happy birthday, you know.
Wasby tape goes along with
washi tape.
Washi tape. Oh, and I also wanted to put in with the metaphysical thing. For any of you that sell the metaphysical stuff, you have to be really careful.
Just with your wording. Etsy's actually loosened up a lot.
Have they loosened up? Yeah, because there was a short period of time where they were really nailing down on people making metaphysical promises to people.
You can't you can't promise a result.
Right, like people were selling stones saying this will give you stress relief. You can't do things like that. Yeah. So if you do sell metaphysical products, to each their own, we don't really care. Please read the policies because they will put the ban hammer on you if you're not too careful. Okay. Oh, nope, this one. I found a niche in the funeral industry, $200 cost, and have sold over 80 items and then nothing in April. Any ideas why? Well, I mean, things slow down this time of year anyway, but
I mean, not to sound creepy, but people die all the time. I mean, really, it's
an all year kind of thing.
Funeral items are not a seasonal product. I would check your keyword research, double check the keywords that you're already using in your listings. And I mean, keep in mind that especially if it's not a necessity item, when it comes to, we actually did a Friday Bean episode about how companies that work within industries like funeral homes, for example, how everything is an upsell and how they basically like take advantage of grief. Not saying that that's what you're doing, but what I'm saying is that the things that people don't seem to find a necessity in that moment due to financial instabilities and financial hard times, they're going to be less likely to spend that money, and we tend to see things slow down in most industries when weather warms up. But, you know, when it comes to funerals, I don't see a crossover there because, like I said, it's one of the things where people always die, babies are always born. Those are two things that are a constant. People always die, babies are always born. Those will always be in demand. So I would really just double check your keyword research, make sure that you're, doing some advertising. I know that it's kind of hard when you create a product that's focused around grief, but you can do so in a way, the same way that funeral homes market. If I would follow some funeral homes on social media, I know that's weird.
Right. They are businesses
They are
at the
businesses.
end of the day. They're businesses who are there to make money. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Also, you have a unique challenge with this particular industry because, like with social media marketing, for instance, places like Facebook pages and groups, other than for people like funeral homes that might be able to provide your product to people aren't actively searching out pages where they can buy stuff the next time one of their family members dies.
They stumble across it organically.
They stumble across it organically. So I think things like TikTok, maybe, places where you can put out content that people are seeing randomly would probably be more beneficial. I don't know.
TikTok almost feels weird.
Yeah, it feels really weird. You have a very unique and I would say sensitive niche when it comes to this kind of thing. It's an interesting challenge.
Pinterest might be a good place to go as well, because
that's true, because people are going there looking for ways to like make the funerals pretty.
They're planning the funerals. Exactly. Yeah. Pinterest is a place to plan, and I know that during times of grief, what we tend to want to do is take action in that moment, because especially for people who, when you hit that downtime where you're like, well, I'm not at work, I'm grieving, but I'm just sitting, and I don't just want to sit. I want to feel like I'm doing something. They'll often flock to the internet and find things to do, like craft and memorial gardens, and I'm going to buy all these things. I do the same thing when I'm grieving. I purchase things. So it might be a good idea to target places like Pinterest where people are flocking for comfort.
And remember, we're in an economic slump right now in the United States. Everybody is experiencing this. We're experiencing it. eRank is experiencing it. Everyone on Etsy is experiencing it. It's a huge slump right now. So don't be too upset when people aren't spending large amounts of money.
Yeah.
What are some ways to promote / market your shop without social media? I'm trying to figure out SEO, but taking me some time.
There are 3 ways. I think, did I just reply to you on Instagram today? Or was it somebody who asked me the exact same question? I feel like I replied to your Instagram message today. There are 3 ways that you can market your Etsy shop. SEO, which is internal marketing. You are sending people who are shopping on Etsy to your shop. You can also add ads on top of that, but your SEO already has to be good, and you have to have good photos. That's why we always say to make sure that you are promoting things that you know are already selling, because that's the sure thing, right? So internal, SEO. External, that would be social media. And then the last piece of the puzzle would be a funnel, an email list that you own where you are doing email marketing, but typically you need to have social media to get people on that list to begin with. So those are your 3. I know that there are a lot of people who are like, I don't want to do social, or I want to take a break from social. If you want to take a break from social,
we get that.
Take a break and schedule out your content using an app like Later.
Just take a personal break. I have a lot of people that say, I don't want to use Facebook. I don't want to use Instagram. And it's kind of one of those, like, unless you absolutely have to because of like protection reasons, or you have like a stalker or something like that, it's kind of a suck it up scenario, because you can use Facebook with a personal profile. You can make a new personal profile, set everything completely to private, put no Facebook, no picture, and then start your groups and not have to communicate with anyone other than your customers in your Facebook group. Instagram, you can do kind of the same thing. You can just sign up as a brand. There's no reason to not use social media unless your product isn't there. Like I said with the funeral one, Facebook's probably, to me personally, and I might be wrong, not the place for that kind of thing.
Unless you're paying for ads.
Unless you're paying for ads, that kind of thing. Obviously Facebook ads if you're targeting people who have, you're targeting with that, but that's expensive.
I was gonna say I got so when we paid for Grandma's funeral, I got so many casket company ads. It was
for most people that I've found when I've had conversations with people talking about social media, it's either a politically driven thing or something where they don't understand about the social media platform. We have a lot of people that'll talk about, so and so is taking my data, this, that, and the other. everything is taking your data. If you have a smart TV, it's listening to what you're doing. Like everything that you have that you've bought within the last 5 years is targeting you, and it is taking your information and selling it to someone. So you can't avoid it, even if you avoid social media. Anyway.
Mark was an analyst for the military, yes. So his job is knowing what's listening to you, and everything's listening to you.
Not really, but yes.
You do
know. There are YouTube videos you can watch which tell you all of the things. Like smart TVs, if you have to sign an agreement when you first turn your TV on, and I almost guarantee that you hit a little accept button just randomly when you did it, you accepted them selling your data. That's just how it is. So unless it's a safety reason, be very careful with that kind of stuff, because not using social media, you could be really be hurting your bottom line. Social media right now, especially Instagram and TikTok, is the best way to drive traffic to your shop. But other than that, SEO and an email list. Those are kind of your only ways that you can market without
Unless you want to put a bunch of money into ads like Google or
Google ads, and Google ads aren't going to do jack crap.
I wouldn't say Google. I would say like Pinterest ads before you do Google.
Yeah, Google ads for Etsy are never.
No.
Unless you've got millions of dollars to spend. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, I go on a rant when people talk about social media. If you have more than one Etsy shop, do you recommend social media accounts for each one, or that can they be combined?
So I would say separate as long as they're. I would say separate as long as they're separate brands. If you sell, like I said, men's underwear and baby shower gifts, probably don't want to see those on the same feed.
Unless it's men's underwear for recently single dads who are having a baby shower for the baby, like if they,
like in the underwear says like world's best single dad. But
yes, exactly. Or like they have a surrogate parent. It's like a dad who has a surrogate and he's going to have a kid. World's best single dads.
Still weird. Still kind of
strange. Weird. Can you tell it's a holiday stream where we're not taking anything seriously? If you're still here and you're waiting for the explanation and you're typing angrily in the comments, get to the content. Today's not the day for you. Go away.
Today's not the day.
I'm in a good mood today, and I'm not taking nothing from nobody.
But really, separate social media if the niche isn't. I mean, if you make like one shop is gemstone earrings and one shop is gemstone bracelets, first of all, you should just put those things in the same shop because there's a cohesive theme. Yes. But if they warrant separate shops, they likely have different target audiences, which means they should probably have separate social media accounts.
Let's see. As a dye artist, I've been getting sunk on Etsy since the pandemic with everyone making tie-dyes. What's the main thing I should be concentrating on to float above the competition to be seen? So tie-dye is a really fun thing to watch. My suggestion would be Reels and TikTok, and show off your process. Do a time lapse, do reveals. There is this lady. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? She's on Facebook, and she does Facebook live streams, and I get ads for them all the time where she does these extravagant like tie-dye reveals, and everybody in the crowd will just be like watching as she undoes the ties of the dye and opens up the shirt, and it's just this insane design. And you don't have to have a crazy like she does like guitars and all these crazy detailed, I don't know even how she does it. You don't have to be like all crazy with your designs. People are interested in just seeing the reveal. It's the anticipation of what's it going to look like? What's it going to look like? Do some TikToks and Reels of you creating your products. And I know for a fact that is already a niche on TikTok and Instagram. Follow accounts that already do it. Replicate the process. It's a good day today.
You're in a good mood today.
I am in a good mood today. It's because I got to wake up this morning and rip someone a new one via email the very first thing when I woke up. I got to get it out early. Yeah. They have to disclose that it's for entertainment purposes only if you're selling metaphysical. Gotcha. So for most of my customers are not the target audience I was targeting. Have I just not reached them yet, or should I lean into who is actually buying?
Usually you should lean into who's buying if it's a majority of your buyers.
Unless your particular product has become a fad.
Well, I would say, like, for example, with my first business, my jewelry business, I thought that I was going to be selling to like goth college girls.
And that wasn't it at all.
No, and then I found out that my target audience was like women in between ages like 40 to 60 who were pagans. And that's not who I targeted at all, but that's who my audience ended up being for like 7 years straight. So I'm like, okay, well, that's obviously who my target audience is. And then I just leaned into that. You set who you think your target audience is at first while you're kind of experimenting. You kind of make a loose definition, and then you need to start taking cues from your customers, who's following you on social media, who's engaging with you the most, who's spending the most money, and then start adapting what your baseline, like, generic target customer that you created, adapt them based on what you know.
I order many of my supplies for my shop from eBay and Amazon. How can I print multiple eBay and Amazon receipts for business tax purposes without having to print each one individually? So I would still print them individually. In the case of an audit, it'll be easier to present them with information that they're specifically asking for. But if you need them just for space saving purposes and you're going to still save them all digitally one by one, then you can just save them into a folder, pull yourself up a paint file, or you can use iPicky or literally any of the other services and just stick them all on one screen. Thing is, most receipts, so if you buy from places like Best Buy, stuff like that, they'll be full page like receipts. Amazon, I know, puts them in like the invoice thing where it's like a rectangle invoice and you could just put them like in rows. Just make sure they're readable if you're only printing them out. Otherwise you might end up screwing yourself.
Yeah, you can totally keep them digital. And
yeah, I would do both. I would have a printed copy and a digital copy because obviously if there's a fire and you get audited, or there's a flood or a tornado or somebody steals your stuff,
yeah, we use
you never know.
We use Block Advisors, so we've got the Block Advisors account
and
where
we can throw all your receipts right in there.
Yeah, we can just upload them straight into our Block Advisors account, and I'm sure that QuickBooks and all that do all those. Aren't all those the same?
Throw them all in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever image editing app you want to use.
Yeah, you can just take a screenshot of it.
Well, how many items do I need in my store to be higher in search? One.
Yeah, that's not a...
You need to have at least one listing to appear in search.
Yeah, every listing is an opportunity to be found in search.
Yes. So having two separate items does not make either one better at appearing in search. Now, shop, listing quality score, that kind of thing, but listing quality score is an individual listing quality.
Yeah, so every item, if you're standing on the bank of the ocean and you've got... you're going to go fishing and you cast one fishing pole out into the water, you have one opportunity to catch a fish. That's one listing. If you cast out two, that's two opportunities to catch a fish. You have two listings out into the world of the Etsy ocean. So every single listing is an opportunity.
Yes.
There's no like magic number where I've listed 10 products. Now Etsy's going to show me to more people. That's not how it works.
Yeah. We had a parody card of Totoro, but it didn't really have anything on there. But because we used My Neighbor Totoro in the description and tags, it got taken down. Decided on no parody after that. Yep. That's
okay. So satirical and parody content legally, if we're talking about, and we even had Cynthia check with Just Answer on this. Satirical and parody content legally, technically, is okay, because it's satirical. However, the problem with it is that a lot of times Etsy doesn't care about the fine print details.
No, they don't. If it's a gray line, they're on the bad side of it.
Well, yeah, not the bad side, but
the side of not you.
Yeah, they're on the side of the bigger brand who has the most money, and they're gonna say, okay, Studio Ghibli is the owner of this.
Yeah, last year we did a Friday Bean. I don't remember which one it was, where I said basically the same thing, and people ripped me a new butt for it. Because when it comes to satire and comedy and just impersonation, that kind of thing, it is an extremely gray line. For one person to another will have a different answer. Everybody's got a different answer on what it is. And at the end of the day, you have to be able to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt in court that yours is a work of parody.
Yeah.
Now, imagine trying to explain to someone in court nervous what parody means. You're not going to win that lawsuit. So it's better to err on the side of caution with Etsy. If you do it on your own website and you're not making millions of dollars off of someone else's content, you'll probably get away with parody. Yeah. But Etsy doesn't want themselves to get sued for not enforcing the systems that they put in place, if that makes sense. So before anybody rips me, everybody's got a different answer for what parody means. I think it's all okay, but I'm not Etsy. So anyway. Is SEO on Etsy correlated with Google search? In my stats section on Etsy, it looks like the traffic only comes from Google. Thank you for your time.
So the things that you're asking right now are just kind of, they're related, but they're not related. So Etsy, SEO, and Google SEO are two entirely different beasts, and both of them like different things. And sometimes what this beast likes is what this beast hates, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Etsy likes repetition, consistency. They don't really mind. I know that Etsy's like best practices say like don't keyword stuff your titles, but Etsy's algorithm really doesn't care. Etsy as a platform just wants you to be more readable to the customers. But so Etsy SEO, Etsy's going to read your tags, your titles, your attributes. That's it. Google SEO is going to read your tags, your titles, your description, and basically they're going to crawl your entire listing page. The problem is that when you keyword optimize your listings for Etsy, a lot of the times that you do that Etsy's algorithm likes, like repetition, Google doesn't necessarily like, and it makes it harder to rank. But since you're wanting to rank on Etsy more so than Google, it's typically better to appeal to Etsy's algorithm by being consistent with your keywords. Now, if you're seeing that you're getting a lot of traffic from Google in particular, there's a couple reasons that this might be. For one, you might have a really niche product, and you're just one of the only options that they're finding when they're searching on Google, which is great. That's awesome. That is a great thing. Second thing is that they might be searching for your brand directly. If you have a little bit of notoriety, they're just typing your brand name into Google and they're finding you that way. Once again, also great. That's super cool. If you've had a lot of sales and you have high listing quality scores and your Etsy shop has a little bit of marketplace authority, Google might be recognizing you as the authority of that thing. Even if you're not, even if you're in a highly competitive niche, you might be towards the top of that niche, which once again, that's also great. But should you change what your current Etsy strategy is to try to appeal more to Google? No, just keep doing what you're doing. Long answer for a short question.
We'll get to the Celestial Nightshade and Whimsical Muse. I know y'all are kind of battling it out over something. We'll get to your question. I promise. We go in order. Does anyone up their ad budgets for the weekend? I know it's messing with it triggers to Etsy to figure out how to spend the new number, but wondering if it's shown any good results for anyone.
Experiment. Yeah, everybody sees different results. I mean, yeah, as long as you're, not... Don't ever spend more money than you're making. If you see that you're like burning through your ad budget on the weekends, then maybe don't do that.
You're fine, Whimsical Muse. I don't really care. You guys talk about what you want. That's what we're here for. But just joined the chat just now. Would like to check if sales are down. Yes, they absolutely are.
Yes, it is.
It's down for everyone across the board on the internet. So.
Yeah. So two things that I want to make sure that everybody's aware of. If you joined Etsy in 2019, 2020, you joined during the anomaly. You joined during this really weird phenomenon where everybody was shopping on Etsy because they were making
a ton of money.
Yeah, people were home, they were bored, they were pandemic buying, they were spending their money because they had nothing better to do. It was this really cool thing that happened. But now we're going back to normal. This is what Etsy's like between March and usually August. Sales are just gonna boo as weather warms up. August is going to hit and sales are going to pick up a little bit. September, October, they're going to pick up even more. November is going to be the best month on Etsy. That's, unless you sell some product that's only catered for summer or Easter bunnies or whatever. Typically November is when everybody sees the best results on Etsy. And then December comes, we have the last minute holiday buyers, and then things kind of stall out in January again. It's normal. This is the ebb and flow of business, and pretty much all e-commerce websites see a stall in sales as weather warms up because people are outside and they're saving money for vacations and barbecues or whatever people buy in the summer.
If you respond to a review on Etsy, is it true that it locks in the review and the customer can't go back in and change the review?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
So you have to be super duper sure that that's the review that you're going to stick with and that you don't need to report it to Etsy.
And we're getting to the end of our questions here. If you guys have questions, anything having to do with running your handmade business, feel free to stick them in there and we'll answer them to the best of our ability.
Social media marketing, Etsy SEO, eRank. Both of us work for eRank, so we're good on those questions too.
All right, please help. How can we create Reels and TikTok videos if you have a print-on-demand shop? Rep your products. Buy some test products. Rep your products. Buy some test products. Rep your products.
I did.
So, Whimsical Muse had said, show the process of creation, displaying the item. Showing someone how to place an order, maybe later on if you already have a bit of popularity. And don't just be one of those brands that, like, you just stand there and you have music playing and you're like, my shirt, buy my shirt. Figure out a way, follow other brands that print their own clothing, follow other brands that do print on demand, see what they're doing for their content, copy what they're doing. It's not Etsy. You can do exactly what they're doing on TikTok in your own clothes, and there's a chance, very good chance, that people that see your content won't be the same people that see their content.
You're supposed to get, that's the point of TikTok trends, is everybody copies. TikTok's like the place where you're allowed to copy people. Another thing though, we run a print-on-demand shop for the alphas. And I did, if you go back on my channel and you go to the teeny tiny search bar that's specifically on my channel, not the big, YouTube one in general, and just type in Reels, I have videos of us making Reels for our print-on-demand shop. So check those out.
Somebody said, are you saying wrap your order or rep your order? For this particular brand, rep your order. For any other kind of product where it's not print-on-demand, wrap your order. People seem to love when you take a product, when you get a bunch of orders, seeing a video of you just wrapping your crap.
Like packing your orders.
People love that crap. So go for it. Do whatever is popular. If you see a trend on TikTok and you say, I bet I could do that with my product, it's not going to hurt you to try to do that thing as long as you don't do anything offensive. The worst case scenario is you don't get any views.
People love to watch, like, today I'm packing Jamie's order, and then you just show the process of you putting all of Jamie's items in Jamie's box. So...
Who's Jamie?
I don't know.
Can someone loan me their teenager to help with Reels and TikToks? Yes, every single teenager that's already on Reels and TikToks. Just watch what they're doing and replicate.
Yeah.
That easy. Boop, boop, boop. We got to skip through their little fight. How often do you create a listing? That's up to you.
Yeah, there's
Doesn't matter.
No magic equation. Make sure that your shop has items in it. If you've only got one item, then it's going to be hard for you to get found in search with only one thing, but there's no magic number there. No answer.
This is a good thing here.
Yeah, Cynthia asked the lawyer.
In order to create parody or satire successfully, it has to be its own entity, meaning it has to stand on its own without the original IP. Great example I saw was satire on the Poltergeist, but they used Poltergeist. It was a cat silhouette from a TV. See, now this is where it gets to that gray line that I was talking about. I do music, right? I play covers of music. I'll occasionally release videos. Those are considered a parody. It falls under the same, it's not a parody, it's a cover, but it falls under the same guidelines, right? It has to stand up.
It's your artistic creation.
So when you look at, like, no one here has probably seen it, but there's an artist that I follow on YouTube. His name is Meat Canyon. He makes really, like, screwed up versions of, like, children's cartoons and TV shows. And technically, he's not changing anything about
South Park
the character. Yeah, South Park's another great example. They're not. No. South Park is its own thing because that definitely stands on its own. We know that. But this guy in particular makes things where it's in the same universe. The characters are exactly the same as they were. They're just deep fried in horror genre. There's nothing particularly standing parody wise, and he did just lose a dispute, even though he's won other ones. So it's a very fine line, and being able to stand and say that it is its own entity and that it stands on its own, you have to be able to prove that. Because you could totally change up like Mickey Mouse and make it totally different and Disney still claim it and win. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how much you change it. You have to be able to prove it. And that's why it's a gray line, is because proving it is subjective to the court that's reviewing the case.
And when it comes to Etsy, a court's not going to review the case. Etsy's just going to remove it.
They're just going to remove it and you're going to get a strike. That's all it is. So always err on the side of caution. But I do agree with you. It should have to stand on its own. But that's like if I do a cover of a song and I change one note, it's now a different song. So does it stand on its own or no, because I only changed one note? It's subjective to the person that's reviewing the case. I have a 1-star review for a digital download, no explanation, and I have 10 reviews and it's hurting me. Any way I can get rid of it. Oof.
You can message the customer and ask them, hi, blah, blah, blah. I noticed that you didn't like your download. I just wanted to know what I could have done to get your, to have earned a 5-star review, because I'm a newer shop and I'm trying to learn. It would be really helpful if you could give me some feedback so I can improve my customer service for future customers, or if there's anything that I can do to make your experience better.
Hi, Pam.
So, I mean, really, that's all you can do.
Honestly, first thing I would check is to make sure that they're not someone who's also a digital shop trying to ruin yours because you're direct competition to them. I would make sure that it's not someone who also has a digital downloads shop, and because they're not allowed to do that. They can't go in and buy one of your products and then leave you a bad review in order to damage your reputation and make their sales better. So check that first and then do what she said. I have an E-Rank question.
Oh, lucky you. Pam's here too.
Pam. E-Rank shows sales data for competitors, but the data is not accurate. I hate that statement. It shows data such as a person ordering the 9 of something altogether, and it only shows 1 sale. But if those items are added separately, it shows 9 sales. Is there a way around that where it can possibly show the right amount of products sold?
So
it's getting the information from the Etsy API. An order is an order. So if you have 1 order for 9 items or 9 orders of 1 individual item, that's the same. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. So we get a lot of people. I mean, obviously bugs do occur, but that's not a bug. No, it's not. It's direct from Etsy. So we understand what you're saying.
We do understand what you're saying, but E-Rank uses Etsy's API, which means that we are taking data that Etsy is giving us direct from Etsy, and we cannot alter what Etsy is giving us.
Yes, but it's all 9 items in 1 order. Okay, here's the difference with that. When it's coming from Etsy, that's how Etsy is seeing it. So you say, oh, there's 9 items. It's not 9 separate orders being displayed. Correct, because it's 1 order that person made. It's still 1 order. If the person orders 9 different items, they've bought 9 orders. They've bought 9 different items. Yeah. If they buy 1 item, 9 of it, it's still 1 order. Does that make sense? I know that's frustrating to think of it that way, but that's the way that Etsy looks at it too.
Yeah,
it's like
Pam commented too. She said that's how Etsy classes sales and orders is confusing. At E-Rank, we've had lots of conversations.
Yes, and it makes us look stupid because we're just reporting the information that Etsy gives us. It's the same thing with any kind of data that you see on E-Rank. The statement that it's not accurate is always going to be incorrect because the information is literal. It's directly from Etsy. It can't be inaccurate, if that makes sense. It's inaccurate to our understanding, to a logical sense, but it's accurate based on the system that it's being provided from. So take it as it is and not the way that you think it should be, because then we're wrong, So anyway.
Hope that makes sense.
I know that's super confusing and we understand your point, but that's how Etsy sees it.
Yeah.
What app do you recommend to make reels and videos?
what app? CapCut is the new one that I've been using. You can use Canva too if you want to animate them with things. CapCut though is a free app, completely free, no paywalls. There is nothing you can pay for. It is all free, access to everything. You can download your reels and videos to you can like download 4K videos, lots of animations and things. It's great. CapCut. CapCut. Best app that I have ever used.
I'm not quite sure. Are there ads on the app?
No.
Then they're selling data. That's what it is. But again, we talked about this earlier. Literally everyone that you use is selling your data. Facebook, Google.
Yeah.
They're all selling your data. So don't let that turn you off. I'm just trying to figure out where in the heck they're making their money from.
Catherine.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. I'm on eRank and reviewing my keyword listings. Why do some of them say last updated December 31st, 1969? Because it's funny.
Are you... If you're... I've seen that happen in the monitor tool, not in keyword lists. Could you take... if you're seeing that, can you take a screenshot of that and send it to Pam? Is it support@erank.com?
Yeah.
Take a screenshot of what you're seeing. Send it to support@erank.com.
Or help@erank.com.
I think it's support.
I think it's support.
Support@erank.com. Send it to the team and they'll look into it.
Oh, dang it.
What?
I lost my highlight.
Oh.
There
you go, under those. Keep going.
We haven't answered this one.
Oh.
I think we accidentally skipped that one.
Okay.
Sorry, Barbara. Can I offer customers a rebate on their orders to sign up for my email list instead of a coupon?
Well, actually...
A rebate?
Actually, yes, you can. So one thing that I used to do when I was first starting out, and it was a way to like boost my mailing list, and it did work. I didn't do it forever, but I did do it for a limited time. I would message my customers if I noticed that they placed an order and they didn't use my coupon code for my mailing list. I would send them a message that said, hey, blah, blah, blah. Thanks so much for your order. I noticed that you didn't use my 30% off VIP club membership. If you're interested, I can send you a refund for the difference if you would like to send or sign up. And if they hear that they can get like a small refund, they usually are ecstatic. Did I put that in my listings? No, because I didn't want that to be a permanent thing that I had to do forever and ever. But it was a great way to get people on my email list initially. And a lot of people were like, yeah, I would love a refund for the difference.
Let's see. And we had accidentally skipped Cynthia's other question too. Question on mature content. A lot of my designs are not PG rated, mainly offensive words. I'm trying to figure out keywords for people who... to be able to find them. Should I stick to common keywords or...
You can use naughty keywords.
Yeah, you can use naughty keywords. I'm not sure offhand if it affects your visibility, because I know like with YouTube, if you put a naughty word in the description, it automatically knocks you down. Like
Etsy, you can sell mature content on Etsy. They've
yes,
loosened up on it.
But can you use words? Because you have to have a picture if you have mature content, but can you use words that describe mature content? Because there's obviously a lot of adult words, but you only get those if you search specifically for that adult content. Would you show up in search for just like naughty t-shirt if I had the F word in my thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, I think is the best way to say it.
You might want to actually message Etsy on that, because I know that it's highly searched. We have an 18 plus section in eRank. I
buy 18 plus stuff on Etsy all the time.
Well, I'm saying that there's an 18 plus section on eRank where you can see like, and I know that like you can see like just things that have like bad words on them that people are searching for. Best case scenario is you send Etsy a quick message just to make sure. I think that it's okay because you're actually defining exactly what the product is in your tags and titles, but you might want to double check.
Let's see. If you have one type of item but 3 sizes, would you separate them into their own listings?
Depends on what they are.
Yeah. If it's like shirts, I wouldn't. If it's 3 of the same size shirt. Now, if it's an adult shirt and then an infant shirt is one of the sizes, I would put the infant and the adult in their own. Yeah,
but if it's like an art print, I think it's up to you, really. I don't, there's not really a right or wrong answer.
Yeah, that is one good thing. If you're doing art prints and you have the ability to buy like a cell phone sized little image to put up on the wall versus like a 3 foot by 5 foot canvas. I would put those, I would definitely put those in a separate listing just because people searching for that big canvas are going to see the smaller picture listing and ignore it, if that makes sense. Anyway. If I have 3 versions of a product, I put them... No, that's this one.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Same number.
Yes. If I have 3 versions of a product, I put them all into one listing with 3 options. Is that it? I guess it is the same question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same question.
Pretty much the same. Same advice. Do you use a hashtag app that helps you get insight on how your hashtags are performing? Also, do you use one of them for organizing them all?
A lot of people do. I personally don't. I just kind of go based on when you first start typing in hashtags. For example, Instagram will show you how many people used it. TikTok will show you the number of people who used it. I just kind of go based on that. I'm sure that that's not the best strategy. But
it works.
There are apps out there that probably generate that information. I don't use one, though.
If you get dinged for copyright, Etsy will remove the listing and freeze your account for 90 days. Your shop is still open, but no access to your funds. Yep. We're all adults here, and it's one of those things when you ride that gray line, you're on a real close to F around and find out kind of situation.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah,
we don't want to see anybody get shut down.
We don't. Just be aware that if you ride a fine line, and you know you're riding a fine line when you're doing parody and stuff like that, just be aware that there's a very good chance that your primary source of income might get shut off for 3 months. If I want to test out SEO, how long should I use it for? A month?
There's not a... We say 60 to 90 days. 60 to 90 days because that's what Etsy tells us is the average amount of time that it takes them to collect enough data to accumulate a listing quality score based on the keywords that you've told them that you want to be known for. That's a good chunk of time that allows you to analyze your results. If you go on my channel, though, I actually just created a video on this. I think 2 weeks ago. It's called How to Know If My Etsy SEO is working, or how to know if my Etsy SEO isn't working. One of those. Go watch that video because I cover the basics of it, and the video is really short.
Any idea why does my Etsy search bar keep showing the quote-unquote popular now items as Christmas theme? Like snitches get stitches with the elf on the shelf? I have no idea.
No idea. Etsy's drunk.
And a couple of people said CapCut's created by the same people who made TikTok. My statement still stands about them selling data, though. Like, an individual app is still an individual app. It's still an individual team of people making it. And they probably want to make money as its own asset. So it's probably still doing data.
CapCut's great, though. I love it. They can sell my data. I don't care.
Is it a new place? It might be free to build a custom base, but it sounds good. I don't know what you're talking about. Probably something we were talking about earlier. We're getting to the end of our questions. If you have any questions you want to get them in last minute, we can go for about 20 more minutes. So
yeah, let's do it, guys.
I sell painted sports balls. Am I better off having a whole bunch of listings with examples or a couple of listings so that all of my items have a better chance of becoming best sellers? I mean, I'm assuming they're painted, so they're all individually themed.
Are they custom?
Or are they custom?
So I think that they're all custom, and they want to know if they should list like a lot of examples, but then when you place your order, you can order anything. That would be, that's a cool strategy. If they can just pick whatever design they want, and you're just using your listings to showcase examples, I would say it's probably better to have more listings in that case, just as long as you are able to keep up with orders. If for some reason you get like 100 orders overnight, in your very, very specific and kind of unique case, I would say that testing a bunch of listings and see how it does for your shop might be a cool way to go. And if it doesn't work out, you can always delete listings.
Is there a way to refund a portion of a person's order? A customer noticed there was a 15% off coupon for my email list and she used the 10%. Yeah, it should just be when you go into refund, you can choose full amount or partial amount. and then you put the partial amount, and then you have to put a reason.
You don't even have to. You can just say
it will not. I don't think it'll let you submit it unless you put something in the text box. You have to submit something.
Yeah.
And I think that's just for legal reasons. Anyway, what do you suggest for a new shop? Mine is 4 months old to get more sales apart from photos and keywords. Photos and keywords.
Photos, keywords, social media, advertising, and making sure that you've done everything that you need to do.
Yep.
About 3 weeks ago, I created a video that said, what was it? 5 steps that it was like 5 steps every shop should take before starting on Etsy or something like that. But making sure that your photos are great, making sure that you have defined branding is insanely important. Social media marketing is obviously going to be one. If you can create an email list, I recommend MailChimp. An email list is another really great place to start. Also keeping in mind that this time of year, it's going to be slow anyway, but it's a great time of year to experiment. That way you're ready for the holidays when things start speeding up. There's no fast way to get success, unfortunately. It's going to be a slow grind, especially since this is the slow time of year. If I were you and I was starting from scratch, I would be, as long as my shop was complete and looked good and my SEO was done and I was happy with my photos and my branding and everything, I would focus on a good social media strategy. That would be where I would put most of my time.
There's plenty of art and inspiration without using the IP. It's just not worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. If you're gonna do parody or stuff like that, I would sell normal stuff on Etsy and then maybe have your own website where you sell the parody stuff.
That's like that. What is it? Acorn and Crow, the one that we covered during the $1 million Etsy episode. They do all original stickers they don't do copyright characters. They do skulls and
they're one of the top selling shops on Etsy.
Yeah.
Did you guys decide to do the individual shop reviews? I'd love to have you do my shop, paid of course. No, we haven't actually decided yet, but we don't have the time yet.
We want to do them, and we're not saying that we're not going to, but right now I'm working till around midnight every night.
Yeah, we get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, put our kid on the bus at 8:30, and we're working until about 9 to 10 o'clock at night. She works till midnight some nights. So.
Yeah, so let me get through my HAA re-record, which that's what I'm doing right now. I'm re-recording Handmade Alpha Academy. For those who don't know, it's my 9-module training course, and that'll be opening June 14th for enrollment. Yes. It'll be open from the 14th till the 24th, and we keep that enrollment window really, really short so Mark and I can manage being a 2-person team. We don't have employees.
Yeah, just for perspective, like she is scripting and has to re-record and create slides for about 20 hours worth of content. And then I have to edit about 20 hours worth of content while also simultaneously completely rebuilding our website from scratch.
And we do a weekly YouTube video. And I just created something that I'm going to be releasing next week.
And we do our Friday
for
meeting.
You. So
we're very, very busy. So if we do them, it'll be after our launch on June 14th.
Yeah. So, but yes, we do want to do them. Yes. It'll probably just be after HAA enrollment is closed. So late summer would be when we would be able to offer them.
Late summer, early fall at the earliest. Does Star Seller really affect to more sales?
No.
No, not really.
Nope. Star Seller does not have any impact on your rank. And your Etsy shoppers are not going to view it any different than any of the other badges that Etsy assigns shops. What's more important to your shoppers is that you have a high star rating. Star Seller is just one of the many little badges that we can get from Etsy. Your customers don't know the difference. They don't care that much.
No, they don't really care. So we did a video. When were those data videos? 2 months ago?
Yeah.
So about 2 months ago, we did some videos kind of proving our swipe files and stuff with data that we got from Etsy sellers through eRank.
Through a survey that we did.
Through a survey that we did. And a very, very, very small portion of people said that the Star Seller made a difference for them. I think it was less than 10%. I want to say it was like 7 or 8% of people. It might have been 15, but whatever. However, there's a bias involved with that when you're told, is this thing that we recently did that we want to be important to you? there's a bias that comes associated with that. And that's why we didn't particularly want to cover that thing in the video, because there's not a way to present that bit of data without that bias being present. So we're just going off of the data that we know based on people's sales and whether or not they affect the shops. If you go back and watch our Friday bean we did on the $1 Million Etsy shops, most of those did not have their star seller badge.
Yeah, here's the thing. So we conducted a survey at erank.com for people who were shopping on Etsy, not Etsy sellers, shoppers, where a pop-up came up and it said, hey, do you want to take a survey? And we had like 1,000 something people opt in to take it.
On Etsy, not eRank.
Yeah, on Etsy. And one of the questions was, how important is star seller to you? And you have to consider the mindset of somebody who is on the platform shopping, where they see this thing and they say, is star seller important to you? Yeah, that sounds important.
Because it sounds important. That's where the bias comes
There's also the aspect where star seller sounds like star reviews, where if they don't already know the star seller terminology because they're just a casual Etsy shopper, they're like, yeah, 5-star reviews are important. But that's not the question. It's star seller. And we didn't give them any photos or examples of what that meant. It was just, is this important to you? And I think the bias is that they think that, yes, that sounds like it should be important to me, therefore it is. But in the moment of shopping, we have not had any evidence to support that having star seller has made a significant impact on anybody's shops who have it. And I'm sure anybody who currently has star seller can say the same thing, that it hasn't made a significant difference.
Yeah, and Crappy Crafter said, I disagree. I've asked people who don't know much about Etsy and see a star seller as must be a bonus or extra. But the thing is even with that bias present, it was still less than 10% of those buyers that said that they care about the star seller badge. And the question was, would it make a difference in you buying from a shop? I believe is star seller badge important to you when you're buying from a shop? And less than 10%, even with a bias included, said that it was. So if it affects your sales, it's such a small percentage of your people that less than like 5 out of 100 sales are going to care. And even then, it's not going to be enough for them to not make a sale. Anyway, how do you find 18 plus keywords on eRank?
Go to the trend report, monthly trends, either trend buzz or monthly trends, somewhere in the trend report. And you'll see categories on the left-hand side, and 18 plus will be one of the categories. It's one of the trend reports. I think it's in monthly trends.
Does Etsy like it when you post items quicker than your processing times, or do you think it could just be that I have concentrated on guinea pigs and got rid of all my rabbit, hamster, and mice related items? I've noticed an increase in sales.
Yeah, it sounds like you've narrowed down on your niche. It's not that Etsy showing you to more people. maybe your customers are opting for the shop that provides faster processing times. But it might just be coincidental. There's no way to really figure out what it was, but I would say that it could be both,
Hi guys, I like the setup you guys have. Thank you. We're working really hard on it, and we're putting 100% of our YouTube money back into our channel. And since we've gotten a boost lately, thanks to all you new people that are here and have subscribed and loving the content, it's going to keep getting better.
Yay!
Do you think, or does Google Trends help to do more sales on Etsy?
Don't use Google as your guiding force, because Google is for Google and Etsy data is for Etsy. erank.com is where you're going to find Etsy data. Just like I used to use Google Trends to try to find good keywords to use for YouTube. But then I buckled down last month and bought a YouTube specific keyword tool, and the data that I was using for Google Trends was nowhere near the same data that am now able to access for the YouTube specific tools. eRank is a tool for Etsy. Google Trends is a tool for Google. So stick to the tool that is actually going to give you data based on what Etsy buyers and Etsy shoppers are searching for.
What do you think is the best way to get people signed up for your email list? It's in my shop on the top line, but only 2 subscribers. I have no idea how to get people to join my Facebook group either. It's a slow burn.
Have you incentivized it? Have you said, and sometimes it's just how you word it. I always found that the best wording to use in my Etsy listing photos was, do you want to save 30% right now on this order that you're about to place right now? Go to this link. Also, if the link that you're putting in your photo is this super long, ridiculous thing, they're never going to type that in. You can use bit.ly to shorten your link. You can put a QR code if you want to shorten, to make it easier for them. You could do both. You could even buy a cheap domain from Google Domains and redirect the domain. It could be, bellascoupon.com, sassygiftscoupon.com. I'm making up brand names right now.
Sure. Feel free to take those. No copyright there.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Feel free to take them if there isn't a copyright there. Should I be renewing a listing or making a new one? Which one is better? Thanks. Depends. There's no reason to make a new listing if it's performing well, but if it's a listing you've had for like 5 or 6 years and you've never sold, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, every time that you make a new listing, you are stripping your listing quality score off of that listing. Your listing quality score is what's going to help that to rank and search, and that score grows the more engagement that listing gets organically in the marketplace, whether that be people, finding it and purchasing it and reviewing it. Those are all things that are going to help your listing quality score. New listings don't have that. If you copy that listing, the copy of that listing won't have that. The only thing that's going to maintain that listing quality score is you using that original listing. It's why one-of-a-kind products tend to have a little bit of trouble. So if that listing has had any sales or anything, I would just work on that listing. But like Mark said, if the listing has just been poo-poo for like 6 years and has never sold at all, might be better to start from scratch and completely change your strategy a little bit.
UI Jewelry. Anyone else's shop experiencing Etsy's testing mode with the returns not accepted showing up under your title on desktop only? My shop does accept returns. I don't know. However, if your shop does accept returns and it's showing up that you don't accept returns, I would immediately message Etsy because I don't like it when shops don't accept returns for things that should be accepted for returns. Yeah. If you're not selling gigantic expensive items or underwear, you should accept returns.
Earrings, facial piercings.
Things that like can be grossed up, then don't accept returns. But if it's like t-shirts or stuff like that and like it's your fault, then you should accept returns. How can you bulletproof your shop from a copyright infringement strike? I mean, if you want truly bulletproof, don't sell parody, anything based off of copyright or any sort of impersonatable content.
Space Ghost Supreme, you're back. My lip ring must not bother you that much.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, don't do things that infringe on copyrights. That's how do I stay
friggin' spicy today, ain't you?
How do I stay bulletproof from a gun being pointed at me? Wear a bulletproof vest.
I mean, realistically, there's no way to get it away from it. I mean, there's even people that'll post things that didn't know that they were posting content that was like based off of something. I mean, it even happens in music. When we write music from time to time, I might write something and then a part of it is something that I heard in a song 10 years ago that my brain is just like, here, take this thing from your subconscious that you're stealing from somebody else. So,
well, that's why when I, like, for example, when I wrote my book, The Channel, it's a science fiction book. But I made sure to not. So, for example, he was playing Cyberpunk around the same time, and I was like, I don't want to see any
She's
of
like,
it.
I can't be in the same room as you while you're doing this.
I don't want to see any of it. So,
Aaron, emotional damage.
I love that.
I love it.
I love that you knew exactly what the thing was.
Yeah. Oh, but it does. Oh, well, bite me.
I was going to say, then don't hang out here. If you... Last time you talked to me, you weren't very nice to me.
Here's the thing for you stinkers that don't like facial stuff. It's either she continues to wear it or she has the weird little pale, like, lip butthole thing that happens when you take out a piercing that you've had for over 10 years.
Or I'm 30 years old and I don't give a crap what anybody says about how I look on the internet, and I'm not going to change my aesthetic for the one person who doesn't like it. Bite me.
Spicy Starla, welcome all you new subscribers.
Yeah, for real. No, it gets Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. And
all the people that get spicy about things we say.
No, really. I want everybody to listen up, because this is one thing that I want you all to know if you put yourself out there. And I hear this a lot. I'm afraid to put myself out there. I'm afraid of feedback. I'm afraid when someone says something mean about me, my products, my face, my aesthetic, my hair, my weight.
For you people that are afraid of social media.
My outfits, my whatever it might be, my voice. If I were to listen to every single piece of feedback that you, not all of you, but some of you give me about what I am, I would be nothing, because nobody likes everything that I am. And there was a point in time when I tried to adapt my personality to make sure that I was fitting within the mold that everybody tried to get me to fit within. I was depressed. I was mean. I was not a good wife. I was not a good mother. I was not a good human being. I was stressed. I was anxious. I needed to be medicated. I have an anxiety disorder that you guys don't ever see. I'm very introverted. And these are things that made all of that so much worse. But the moment that I started not giving a crap about what anybody in this false internet world thought of me, for one, I became a better coach, because when I speak with authority, you guys are going to listen to me. And Space Ghost, I'm not upset at you. I'm not. You spoke what you think.
You have your opinions.
That's fine. You don't have to like my aesthetic. It's perfectly fine. Maybe don't be mean about it. That's not cool, because you did make me feel bad about myself, and I'm not going to pretend that you didn't. But what I'm saying is that I'm not being mean to you now in the chat, and I'm not banning you from my channel or saying go away. The thing is, I can take constructive criticism, but when it comes to what people say about your physical being and what makes you you, as long as it's not something that is hurting anybody else, and it is not, causing harm or emotional damage to anybody, then everybody should be comfortable in who they are and not give a crap about what the internet world says.
Yes.
But you get...
everybody gets one.
You get one. After that,
it's Spider-Man. Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one. After that, if you hurt my feelings again, we kick you. We give you the boot. But obviously, you came back, so you can't hate me too much.
Exactly. You love it. It's the mustache. That's probably what it is.
It's just the mustache. You're here.
The thing is, and this really is a good example for those of you who are afraid to do things like TikTok or put your face on camera. You have to take your care, and you got to toss it out the window. Realize that there are how many billion people on this planet. Chances are, no matter what you do, some of them aren't going to like you. So don't cater your content to impress the people who aren't going to like you anyway. Cater your content to the people who are going to like you. Because there's a lot of people that don't like me. There's a lot of people that don't like her. That's fine. That's why we all have our own individual personalities and we don't follow a mainstream, and why there's so much fight back against all the anti-freedom of speech and all of the say what you want to say kind of people is because we have to be able to be individuals. Anyway, onto this thing. Don't be afraid to be an individual. Don't be afraid to post your own content. Don't be afraid to be who you are, no matter how abrasive you think it is, unless you're don't attack people. Obviously, I think that's a good way to live. Don't attack people when you're online content, but be who you want to be and post the content you want to post, and don't be afraid of the haters, because they're always going to exist. If you move from one kind of thing into another thing, then other people are going to hate you, and then you adjust for that, and then those people are going to hate you, and it's an ever building stream of trying to impress new people. Just be who you are.
Yeah.
And screw whoever doesn't like you.
And that's also to say that we also need to make sure that we're taking content at content value, where when I am spending hours and hours and hours and hours creating videos, scripting videos, recording videos, editing videos, making sure that the content is in 4K, making sure that everything on the SEO side is researched for something that I'm providing for free. And right when I provide that piece of content that I've spent hours on, someone's like, "Oh, I don't like your lip ring." It's like all that work that I just spent providing something free to help
was
people.
Invalidated because you don't like something. Anyway,
yeah.
Let's try to move on.
So
we're getting too heated.
Yeah.
They said, I do enjoy the content that you do, but it bothers me. So there you go. Well, then you should work on your microaggressions, Broseph.
Yeah. Or find a different...
Because if you dislike it, then you're weird, because it's an accessory. It's like wearing a watch or a bracelet.
Or find a different YouTuber. Yeah. There are tons of us.
Yeah. We're just the honest ones.
We're just the honest. No, there's other honest ones.
Are there?
Yeah.
Are there? We're the best, though, guys, right?
Nancy Badia. Love Nancy.
Yeah, we like Nancy.
Nancy's fantastic.
Does the HAA re-record anything like the new thing you posted today in the student campus group? Because that was good.
I would love to. I can't, though. Because that took, for that tiny little 20-minute video, that took 3 days. So
it's not a joke. That literally took like a collective 20 hours worth of work for that 20-minute video.
But the quality in terms of like how crisp it looked and the sound and everything, that's going to be the same. But what I like about HAA and how we have it set up is, you know how it's like a big map where certain things like they'll zoom in, but it's one big overview. I feel like that connects the content together so that it feels like a big step-by-step roadmap. And I feel that that's where the value in HAA is, where it's not a bunch of scattered content. It's step 1, you do this, you click here, you apply this. Step 2, you click here, you do this, you apply this. And I think that that's what makes HAA unique. I wish that I could do all the crazy cartoons and things that I did in the free thing that you guys got to see today, preview for what the other folks are going to receive next week. There's just no way. There's no way that I could get it done. It would take me 3 years to be able to do the whole course in that style.
Yeah. But yeah, we're not gonna attack and fight and all that kind of stuff. We're be nice. I know we got a little bit heated, but we'll play nice. Their opinion is valid because in its opinion, no matter how crappy it is, it's still their opinion. So let's see. Finally launched YB Normal. Welcome back. I don't think I've seen you here in a little while. Finally launched our own website. Is it better to post links to both website and Etsy or move on to promote website since our Etsy shop is established and shows thousands of reviews?
It's up to you. You could do a link tree and give them an option for both. I know a lot of people like to shop on Etsy even when a website is available just because they feel safer because they're already familiar with it. And in your line of work, it might be beneficial to list both just because people already recognize Etsy. Since you do 18 plus, like I said, it might be better to just do a link tree and then say our website, our Etsy shop.
Weren't they the one that had the ad that caught our eye the other day that was funny?
Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't funny. It was just very good. The glass that you used.
Yeah. No, not that one. It was another one.
No, there
was one that I showed you like a week ago. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, maybe it wasn't that one.
It was very creative. Creative use of glassware.
Creative use of glassware for an adult product.
Yes.
Sometimes I get requested restock notifications but can't fulfill them at the time. I was wondering if there's a place to see them all.
I don't think so. I think you would have to note them all in your free time. Because I never turned on my restock request other than on like 2 products. If anybody knows, feel free to put it down in the chat, but I don't think you can.
Do you think that will change over time as more people get it / drop off?
What are we talking about specifically?
I think Star Seller Badge.
Oh.
I don't know. I hate that being an answer, but I don't know. And the reason that I'm assuming the reason that Etsy did this is because if you didn't know, they bought Reverb, and Reverb is a website for selling usually used music instruments. Nowadays, it's just a platform for scalpers to sell things that they bought for twice the price they bought them for. But Reverb's had it, and it's a very successful thing. It's more than just a little badge. It's like a whole thing on every listing that they post. So if it goes along the way and it responds the same way as Reverb did, then yes. However, I don't think it will because, again, Reverb's a platform for either reselling or selling used items. It's kind of like an eBay, but specifically for musicians who are protected by the platform. So like they can buy things, and if it doesn't show up in the way that it was described, then you can send it back and the seller has no choice but to refund you. Etsy isn't like that. Etsy's not a reseller website other than for like vintage and one of a kind stuff, you know? So I don't know. I don't think so, but it all depends on how they incorporate the system. Now, if they start incorporating it into their algorithm directly, then yeah, it'll absolutely make a huge difference. But I think that if they do that, it'll be one of those things where people see it and it happens and it screws a bunch of small sellers and boosts a bunch of big time sellers, which you guys know Etsy likes to do that from time to time. And then it'll last for 2 weeks and then it'll go away and never come back again. So keep an eye out, keep a look at it. If it does enter the algorithm, do what you can to get your Star Seller badge. But until then, I honestly wouldn't worry about it. And I mean, it's not a bad thing to have. If you can get it, it's because you're doing an absolute astronomical job, but there are stupid little things that can take away at a moment's notice, you know? Mm-hmm. So...
what we got?
We're going to lightning round this because we got about 10 minutes left, and then I am going to go get some lunch. Actually, she's going to record a video, and then we're going to get some lunch because we also have to record a video.
Ooh, what's this week's video topic? It is,
what is it? I don't know.
Do you guys want a sneaky peeky? I'll tell you what the topic is for this week while he's finding the next question.
I already got it.
I keep all my topics are in their own special Trello board. It's going to be... oh, poop, where'd it go?
Oh my goodness. We're so organized, y'all. Man, I did the colors great this week. My eyes are pretty.
Big Etsy money makers for summer of 2022.
Yes.
So we're going to be covering top Etsy trends that sell because that's the most
really popular for some reason.
Yeah, it's like the most searched thing on YouTube right now is Etsy trends that sell. So I'm like, okay, jump on that SEO bandwagon.
Is there any time frame when you list a new item to start selling or showing?
No, 60 to 90 days
for your
Etsy.
SEO to take place.
Well, for Etsy to collect enough data based on how people interact with that listing, but is there any time frame when you start selling? No, because if you sell something that nobody wants, then you're not sales are not a guarantee. So there's no real time frame. And if you sell $1,000 coffee table, it's going to take longer to sell that than it will a $1 sticker. But the sale will be worth more to you because you sold $1,000 thing. So,
all right. I sell handmade wood Rolodex boxes / holders and cards. I'm concerned over the crackdown on copyright because technically Rolodex is a brand name, but Rolodex is the word that describes that product. That's rough.
It's hard because that's like, hey, do you need a Kleenex? You can't. Kleenex is a brand.
But everybody calls every kind of tissue a Kleenex.
A Xerox machine. Xerox is the brand. You can't. So I'm going to say that you need to go to the USPTO website. Just type in USPTO trademark on Google.
And see if it's trademarked. Because there is a difference between trademark and copyright.
Go into the TESS search. It should pop right up from the homepage of the USPTO website. TESS search, and then do the first option. I think it's like word mark search. Click that and search for Rolodex. And if the copyright on that is still active, which I'm assuming that it is, you can't use it.
It almost certainly is.
Yeah, you can't use it. You'll have to find maybe try to rolling organizer, note organizer. Because PopSocket's cracking down on Etsy sellers who use the word PopSocket as well. People who make covers, unique covers for their pop sockets. What we got?
Starla's being a MILF. Yeah, she is. I don't accept returns on my one-of-a-kind handmade art journals.
Yeah, one of a kind and
it's rough. There's specific circumstances in which you can't do returns, but if you can offer returns, it's better to absorb that cost and potentially have a future customer. But if you're doing one-of-a-kind handmade art journals and they didn't like it and want to return it, then they're probably not going to buy from you anyway. So I understand.
Look at all that comment, love. This is what I'll think about tonight when I go to sleep, rather than my existentialism. I'm kidding. I don't have existentialism. He does, though. He lays in bed and he'll be contemplating the universe.
Leave me alone. I have a disorder. What people think of you has nothing to do with you. Go, Starla. Yes. Oh my God! All the love. Is there any way to see tags used in a listing on Etsy?
Like competitor tags? Yeah, you can actually investigate their tags using eRank. I think that you can do that in the competitor listing report. If you go to erank.com and go to the competitors tab, I don't know if you need to have a paid membership for that. Pam, are you still here? I can't remember. But you should be able to see some of the tags that they're using with your competitor tools. The competitor tools in eRank is one of the things that I never really spent a lot of time in because I didn't have any competitors?
No, our one competitor bit the dust.
I ran them.
We ran them into the ground because they sucked at doing what they did, and they had crappy customer service. And we'll move on from that.
They didn't ship their items.
They didn't. They had like a huge, was it Christmas? Black Friday? They had like a huge Christmas or Black Friday thing, and then like just didn't ship like 90% of their orders and immediately got put into the dirt.
They just shut their website down. I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah, they took like it. I mean, it had to be tens of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Like they were huge. They were one of those shops that was like 100 sales a day kind of thing, and then they just like shut their website off and didn't ship any orders and couldn't come back.
Don't do
anyway.
That. That's
Deborah
bad.
said, I wanted to say thank you for the inspiration last week to create my shop banner.
Oh, awesome. For the super fast branding, fancy fences. Last week's Friday Bean was funny. We had like 5 minutes to create branding based on business names that people gave us in the comments. So we did one called Fancy Fences. We did something about something llama.
Yeah. Did anyone notice shops on strike this week? I noticed one on that vacation message said, here's my Shopify until strike is over. Are you now allowed to put outside links to your Etsy? No, they're going to get shut down, and it's not a strike, it's a boycott. And it's dumb. Mark 2022. I think it's silly. Those of you who didn't know, there is a strike going on Etsy right now, and it's a great time for you to have a sale. I would call it the Etsy boycott sale and have a bunch of money and say, my competitors are dumb.
Now you're getting
buy
spicy.
my stuff. Sorry.
Here's the thing, guys. If you want to do the strike, that's fine. It's fine if you want to voice your opinion in that way. But here's the thing. Etsy went from 1 million sellers to 4 million sellers in like 4 years. The things that they're striking against, like the fee increase, they're saying, oh, we got to strike because of the fee increase. But at the same time, they're also saying, oh, we got to strike because Etsy doesn't provide enough customer service. Etsy
Why do you think they're increasing the fees?
Go follow them on LinkedIn. Go follow Etsy on LinkedIn. They are hiring, like, I swear, I see 30 new people every single day on LinkedIn saying, I just got a new position at Etsy as their tech support overseer.
They're hiring people every single day.
Tons.
So anyway, no offense to any of you who are striking, but how many people signed up for the strike? It was like 15,000 people, and there are 4 million sellers. So in perspective to that, that's like somebody saying there's going to be a huge government protest and you're the only person that shows up for it. No one's listening. And the issue is that there are a ton of sellers that are using it to their advantage, and they're benefiting off of the fact that you're doing this. All you're doing is helping your competition and hurting yourself. So if you want my advice, blast them publicly. Get on Twitter. If you really want to voice your opinion, get a group of people together, get on Twitter, start a real movement. What you're doing isn't a movement. You're just hurting your shop. And things like posting your Shopify link, that's just a good way to get yourself banned from Etsy permanently, not just as a seller, but as a buyer. Because if they ban your account, they're going to IP ban you, and you're not even going to be able to buy things on Etsy anymore.
Yeah,
so
there's so many better ways to do it, guys. And the thing is, Etsy isn't trying to hurt us. They really are trying. They do make choices that I do not agree with all the time. I've been accused of being an Etsy bootlicker because and that's not the case. Etsy does things that I don't like. They do things that I don't like all the time.
The reserve program, for instance.
Yeah,
I think 90 days for that is ridiculous. I do think it should exist, but it should be like 30 days at most. It's a punishment system. You do something, you kick the big dog, you get bit. That's how it happens. But I think that they went a little too hard. They do stuff like that all the time. That the mandatory ads for $10,000 a year, especially for POD sellers. Stupid. I think it's an absolutely asinine decision on Etsy's part. But the thing is they have shareholders. They're a big company and they want to expand. They want to make the experience for both sides better. And unfortunately, there's growing pains. There's always growing pains when it comes to growing a company. You can't make everyone happy. And if the majority of the board wants one thing to happen, they have to do that thing, or Etsy could disappear entirely. So
if you want to bring up, the thing is, Etsy does listen. I know it doesn't feel like they do, but they do.
They absolutely do.
Send them an email, even if you don't get a response. Be nice. If you're mean, they're not going to listen to you.
Yeah, voice your opinion. It's like calling your senator. There's nothing stopping you from sending them a polite email that says, hey, I disagree with what you're doing.
Here is why. Here is how it is affecting me.
And if they were to have, instead of had 20,000 shops put themselves on vacation mode, if they would have had 20,000 people send them emails to their customer support inbox and absolutely flood them with emails saying, here is why I politely disagree with your decision, that might have actually legitimately accomplished something. Or if they had 25,000 people on Twitter tweet them using the exact same hashtag and at them, they probably would have actually listened to it. But instead, people are being silly and losing money for some reason.
And listing quality.
And taking money away from the platform that they want to have money to improve and pay new employees. It doesn't make any sense to me. Peaceful protesting is always the way to go for online platforms. Brute force never works for anything.
Yeah.
We are spicy today. Good Lord. It's a spicy today. I cannot wait for the hate in the comments for the people watching afterwards. It's going to be a nightmare.
Man, and I'm the one who has to do chat moderation.
Nah, I'll do it too.
Okay.
I'll help you.
That's all right.
How many of you, or how would you recommend keeping family and friends from using your real name on social media when using a pen name? Ooh.
Ask them nicely and limitate when it comes to barriers on social media. Like I'm only saying this because nobody knows who she is and she doesn't watch these. I have a grandma who's losing her noodles, but she still like lives on her own.
On a literal sense, not like we're making fun of her. She's literally going insane.
She's losing her noodles. And she will make up things, just make them up out of her brain and post them on social media about things that I do that I don't do.
And haven't done, but thinks we did.
But in her brain, because she's, she does have a mental illness that, she's not treating. She makes things up and they become reality to her. And it's very, very sad. But as somebody who has to deal with the other side of that, it's also very, very difficult. So I have to put strict limitations that say, here are my rules as a human being. These are my rules of respect that you need to follow in order to be a part of my life. You need to do this, this, and this. And if you violate the boundaries that I have set, because I am a business owner and you can't be saying all these funky, weird things, I will block you from social media where you will no longer have access to this part of my life. You'll have to call me. You won't get to see the photos and things. Mm-hmm. And it took a couple of years of me blocking her off and on again. And then I'd add her back and then I'd have to block her again. But now it's to the point where she gets it, like, okay, Starla's not playing around. And she just doesn't correspond with me that way. I tell her to text me if she needs me. So she can always contact me. I'm not saying don't contact me, but on social media, there's a limitation when you're a business owner. People need to respect you.
TLDR, block them.
Yeah.
Send them a message or talk to them on the phone if you're be polite about it. Ask them, say, hey, I go by a pen name. I really don't want my real name and things. And if they refuse to stop or they're just ignorant of online stuff and they just don't know like why and they just don't care, you might just have to block them. It sucks. Yeah. It sucks and they're probably going to hate you for it. But unfortunately, sometimes you got to do things in business that makes your family hate you. Ask us how we know.
Make separate social media accounts.
Make desperate social media. That's what I do to keep my personal stuff private. Please subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Mark's OnlyFans. Separate social medias, yes.
See. Can't tell you guys how much you've helped me this last year.
Aww.
When is the new workshop? And if you are extremely busy, will it be hard to keep up? So the workshop is a pre-recorded thing.
You can access it anytime.
And you can access it anytime. And guess what, y'all? There's no sales pitch at the end of it.
Sales pitch!
We're not selling HAA at the end of it. We're not selling somebody else's crap. It's just a huge, very intricate, very well-made workshop.
And the thing is, it's not huge. It's only 20...
It's 22 minutes, but it's all in-depth content.
Well, TED Talks are 18 minutes for a reason. They're 18 minutes because typically you can process around 20 minutes of information before your brain starts to wander and you get a little bit lost. TED Talks are 18 minutes because you get the extra 2 minutes to think it over on your own in between, like the TED Talk sessions. They give you 2 minutes to think. I did mine, I introduce myself and then I have an outro. Mm-hmm. But the content is 18 minutes. I stuck to the TED Talk formula because I want to make sure that you're getting the most in the smallest digestible chunk without having to sit there all day through it. So 20-minute workshop.
Dang, there's still 125 of you here. Let's get that like ratio up.
Oh.
And where can they find this workshop or get access to this workshop, darling?
That's going to be available next week. It's technically done now. HAA students, you guys already have access to it in the Handmade Alpha Academy group. Feel free to go watch it and give me feedback. You guys already know all the information because we teach it in HAA, but feel free to watch it just so you can give me feedback on how you think it looks. Everybody else, I'm hoping that by Tuesday when we post this upcoming Tuesday's video, I'll be able to shout it out in the video.
Yes.
If you're already on my email list, I'll just send it to you so you don't have to sign up for it. So if you get emails from me, like today, I sent one about the Friday Bean a couple hours ago. If you got that email, then you'll also get the email about the workshop. Everybody else, I'll announce it here during the Friday Bean. I'll announce it in videos. I'll announce it in the Handmade Alpha Facebook community. It's free to join, link down below. I'll announce it on my Instagram at Handmade Alphas. Yeah.
I will not get a lip piercing, Crappy Crafter.
He was
She
going
said
to.
50 likes and Mark will get a lip piercing. No, I won't.
You get the Disturbed one that goes
Ew, no.
hangs down. Lead singer of
No.
Disturbed. You've got the
I'll get
beard.
my ears done maybe, but not my lip.
My ears aren't done.
She said, why you should always plug your course. It's not a bad thing. When is the last time you watched a webinar or a clinic or something like that and there wasn't a frickin' sales pitch at the end of it? That's why. It's content that's going to help you that isn't trying to sell you something. I mean, not just our competition, because most of our competition does it too. But when is the last time you saw like an influencer, somebody that teaches you how to do something, do like a 30-minute webinar and there was a sales pitch at the end and then you realized that the content the entire time from start to finish was to get you to be convinced to buy the content? We don't want to do that. This is an example of her teaching style that you can use to see what HAA is like, but there's no sales pitch at the end of it.
So here's the thing.
So
in the webinar, I say at the beginning that if you enjoy my teaching style, I know that you'll check out my paid program on your own time.
that's the sales pitch.
That's the sales pitch. You guys are smart. I don't need to sit and push my crap in your face.
No, because if you want it and you like us enough, you'll already know that it exists and you'll buy it. We have another one, another webinar that we always do right before HAA, and we tell you at the end where you can get it, what it costs, that kind of thing, but it's not a sales pitch. It's just, here's how you get the content. Here's what's in it. We do and tell you specifically what's in it because it is a teaser for her teaching style. But we don't do it's worth this and you get this and all this bull crap.
Buy in the next 5 minutes and you get this extra thing.
And we don't call specific people out because almost every coach in every industry does the exact same thing because it's a template. We're not going to tell you where or why because we don't want to get sued for revealing secrets and that kind of thing. But
it's a template.
At the end of the day, every person that you see selling things, there's a reason why their websites and everything else looks exactly the same. It's because there's like 3 or 4 people that teach how to sell courses, and selling courses is a huge thing right now. So we don't want to sales pitch you. At the end of this webinar, there's no sales pitch. At the end of the webinar in when do we normally do that? June. We'll do a webinar in June. Are you going to have your Lambo in the background? No, but we had a funny idea with that. I'm glad you brought that up because I want to start working on the idea. But anyway, if you like our content, HAA is coming up. You can find links to sign up for the email list down below where you'll get notified when we do go live. It'll be June 14th through the 24th. June 14th, it'll start at midnight on the day and it'll end at 11:59 p.m. on the final day of it. You'll have 10 days, 10 full days minus 1 minute to enroll. Closes exactly at midnight. If you guys want to check it out, sign up for the email list. You'll get notified.
Yeah, there's a waiting list link down below.
There is a waiting list that doesn't entitle you to actually
obligate
buy.
You.
Entitle or obligate, whatever. It doesn't obligate you to buy the course, but it does, yeah.
Make sure that you get the notification when it opens so you don't miss it because we know that the time frame is short. But Mark and I are a 2-person team.
Yes. And Andrea said we do believe it's a great investment. We stand behind our content. We do believe that it works.
And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee.
And there's a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. So there's your sales pitch. We won't make you prove that you did any work. You can have your money back as long as it's within 30 days. Can you suggest a decent copyright check site?
USPTO.com. You said trademark as well. USPTO.
Yeah, it's the same website. USPTO. They have a few different tools that you can use.
Yeah, just Google USPTO trademark and the website will pop right up.
I have children your ages. They're a lot like you. It gives me hope for the future of our world. You guys keep being as awesome as you are. Yeah, there's like 10 crappy people for every one of us, and the thing is the ones like us are the smart ones that are fighting for the love and the happy. Mark for president. I would absolutely run for president.
His campaign, I can see the poster already. It's just the curly mustache and the aviators. He wears. Did you guys know he wears aviators? Oh God, he has aviators.
And my slogan will just be screw F around and find out. That'll be my campaign slogan.
What was the thing you said last year that everybody loved? The fight me IRL.
Fight me IRL. Yeah, that'll be my real thing. I'll just have a political candidate boxing match. Jalapeno. No, we straight habanero today. Okay.
I woke up and chose violence.
Today. That's absolutely right. Mess around and get the clamps.
The clamps. It says guitar cutters.
I'd vote for you. A few people would, but most of them, well, I don't know. Well, I'm not getting into politics today. I've always responded to my clients within 1 or 2 hours, and Etsy keeps moving my message response rate up and down, and I don't understand how they calculate. Is this a big deal or a silly thing to worry about? Silly thing to worry about.
Yeah, not a big deal. If you want to ask them like how they calculate it, you can. But when you ask the support staff person, they likely will have no idea either. So they'll probably tell you that they don't know. I wouldn't worry about it. Not a big deal.
I recently added some new items to my collection where I lumped 2 items into one listing and variations in hopes of improving listing scores, but these new items have hardly sold. But for my original items in the collection, I listed every single item and variation separately and have become bestsellers. Is it better to separate my newer items into individual listings for the sake of consistency and clarity and the customer's point of view?
Yeah, you're not going to improve your listing quality score by keeping them all together. Don't pack them all together. It would be better to have a lot of bestsellers than have one bestseller. I would say keep them separate, especially if the products are different.
I think that's it.
You the Lambo in the background. We wanted to.
Yeah, I thought it would be really funny to do one of those a perspective. We're at the end of it now. We're not going to do any more questions. End of questions. If you're here for questions, go away. We're talking now. If you want to comment what we should have for lunch, please no fast food. Comment it down in the chat here, and we'll take your advice. We wanted to do one of the perspective things where we take like a toy Lamborghini, like one of the like $200, like the really expensive metal. Ones. So the ones that look real,
convincing.
Get a macro lens and like green screen ourselves into a scene, like make up a little diorama box and green screen ourselves into it. And then just like at some point in it, just have a finger come in and like move it a little bit to adjust it on the screen, but we're still like standing in front of it. I think it would be funny. I think that we should do an ad like that. I really think it would be funny to like redo a Ty Lopez ad exactly like that.
Yeah, like picking all the things that all the super scammy like coaches do where they've got like all the bikini babes in the background. They're like, look at my Lamborghini. But
we have stock video footage, so I could literally just get some bikini babes dancing in the background and green screen them in.
But it would be funny to do that, but leave, you know how when you can see that something's been green screened and you can kind of see the green outline around them? Do that, but do it really badly cut out. Like
do it like really poorly cut out. I think that would be amazing. Maybe next year for April Fools.
Yeah.
When people have forgotten about it. Yeah. Well, one person has said about food, burritos.
We just had tacos.
We just had tacos yesterday. I'm watching what I eat. I'm trying to lose weight.
Yeah. I'm not watching what I eat, but because he's eating better, I'm
by force eating better.
Yeah. It just happens. I don't care about what I eat.
Make sure you have books in there too. Oh yeah, no, I think it would be a 1-for-1 redo of his thing just with toys.
Here in my garage, just got this new Lamborghini. Here's the thing, I bought his course, so.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Asian lettuce wraps, as opposed to Mediterranean lettuce wraps?
Korean lettuce wraps?
Mediterranean food. Greek.
You want to go get Greek?
Yes.
Taste of Jerusalem?
Taste of Jerusalem. That's what it is.
Okay.
Banh mi, healthy food. But I mean, it's kind of healthy. It depends on where you get the banh mi. Because, I mean, realistically, it's a super kind of fatty meat with a super oily sauce. I would say Dave's Cosmic Subs, but that's a Northeast Ohio thing. I've heard of Dave's Cosmic Subs. We were going to go to that place in New Carlisle and we forgot. No. Okay, guys, we're at the end of it. Make sure that if you haven't subscribed yet, you hit the subscribe button down below. If you have the YouTube app and you want to get notified when we go live, click the little bell icon. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs up if you didn't like it, because thumbs downs don't get viewed anymore anyway.
It's Easter. If you guys want to get me an Easter present, and as a big thank you for the big, awesome webinar thing that I'm publishing next week for you, I wrote a book that I don't talk about hardly at all, and I haven't had any sales on that book in like a month.
You haven't really been pushing it that hard.
I know. Itty died, and I've been sad. My dog died, and I've been sad. But I have a book called The Channel. It's a science fiction book appropriate for ages 16 and up due to foul language.
Or 13 and up if you've got a mature teenager.
There's a little bit of not sexual content, but
mildly sexual content.
Alluding to. But anyway, it's a funny science fiction, cross-dimensional. I don't want to call it a comedy because there's a lot of stress.
It's a little stressful. It's a really good book, though. Not just because she's my wife, but it's a pretty good book.
So check it out. The Channel by Starla Moore. You can buy it from barnesandnoble.com. You can buy it from Amazon. You can get the ebook. There's a hardback. There's a paperback. You can email me directly at starla@explorethechannel.com, and I can send you a signed hardback for $25 if you're in the U.S. I have to charge more if you're international.
But thanks for you all that are still sticking around. We had like 130 of you like 10 minutes ago. That's crazy. Great results. Thanks to anybody that's new here. If you're new, make sure after the video you leave a comment.
That's a lot of tamales.
That's a lot of tamales. I forgot about that. Speaking of which, you can still buy that, right?
The apron, yes.
Yeah, we've got our merch shop. Is that also linked out? Have you been linking our merch shop? Merch shop linked down below if you want any Friday Bean goodies. We have a cooking apron, though relatively small if you're a hefty person like me, that says that's a lot of tamales with a little cute little tamale on it if you want that. We don't get any of that money. That goes straight to Amber Marie for her little excursions to the United States and for when we come and visit her in the UK.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a great Easter. Be safe.
Yes. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Call somebody you love. Drink some water. Make a healthy choice. Go for a walk.
Yeah, it's spring.
Do something fun.